Mate, Become the Man Women Want, by Tucker Max and Geoffrey Miller. Introduction. Imagine for a moment two very different men deciding to write a book together. One is Tucker Max, a name you might know. For years, he was famous for writing hilarious, and often outrageous, stories about his wild life. His books, with titles like I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, became a kind of Bible for a generation of young men who saw them not just as funny tales, but as a roadmap for their own dating lives. The other man is Dr. Geoffrey Miller, a respected evolutionary psychologist who has spent decades studying the science of human sexuality. He's a professor, a researcher, a man who understands the deep, ancient reasons behind why we are the way we are. Now, how do these two worlds collide? It started at a Thanksgiving dinner. Dr. Miller was talking with his young male cousins, who were all struggling with dating. When he asked them where they were learning about women, they all pointed to one source: Tucker Max. Miller was appalled. He read the books and saw them for what they were: cautionary tales, stories of what not to do, written for entertainment, not education. A few months later, Miller met Tucker and shared the story. Tucker wasn't surprised. He asked a simple question: why didn't you just recommend a good mating guide for young men? And Miller's answer is the reason we're here today. He said, I tried, but it doesn't exist. Nobody's written it yet. In that moment, an idea was born. What if they could combine Tucker's real-world experience, his street cred, with Miller's decades of scientific research, his academic cred? What if they could create the one book they both wished they'd had when they were 17? A book that finally answers the question that has frustrated men for generations: when it comes to women, sex, and dating, what am I supposed to do? That book is Mate, and it rests on a single, powerful promise. It's not about learning tricks or manipulation. It's not about faking it. The secret, they argue, is to stop guessing and start understanding. To become successful in mating, you simply have to become the kind of man that women have evolved to want. This isn't a revolutionary concept, it's an evolutionary one. And by the end of our time together today, you will have a clear, scientific, and actionable roadmap to becoming that man. A man who is not only more attractive to women, but happier, healthier, and more effective in every area of his life. Book summary. So, where does this journey begin? It begins with a hard truth, one that most young men feel deep down but don't know how to address. As the authors put it bluntly, you have no fucking idea what you're doing. Not when it comes to women, anyway. And they quickly add that it's not your fault. Our modern culture has, in many ways, failed us. For thousands of years, young men were guided by wise mentors and clear role models. They were taught how to become effective men. But today, you're bombarded with conflicting advice from parents, teachers, and a confusing digital world, most of which has nothing to do with your actual happiness or success in relationships. So, what's the solution? The authors propose we start by building our understanding on a foundation of solid principles. 5 of them, to be exact. These are the rules of the game. First, make decisions with science, not bias. Most dating advice is based on tradition, ideology, or wishful thinking. This book offers a different path, one grounded in decades of research from fields like evolutionary psychology and anthropology. It's about understanding not just what works with women, but why it works. Second, account for the woman's perspective. This is a profound shift for most men. You have to get out of your own head and into hers, with curiosity and respect. The book asks you to imagine what it's like to be a woman in the dating world. Her greatest fear when meeting a new man isn't rejection. It's the fear of being physically harmed or assaulted. She doesn't know if you're a good guy or a threat, and her brain is wired to be cautious. Understanding her vulnerability, her anxieties, and what she truly wants is the key to becoming attractive to her. Third, own your attractiveness. From this day forward, you must take personal responsibility for your life, your habits, and your value as a mate. This isn't about blaming your genes or your upbringing. It's about recognizing that you have the power to develop the traits women find attractive. It will take work, but the authors make an incredible point. The traits that make you a better boyfriend are the same traits that make you a better man overall: healthier, happier, and more successful. Fourth, be honest. Honesty, they argue, is the bedrock of self-improvement and long-term mating success. In a world where many men lie to get what they want, the man who is honest, with himself and with others, is both rare and incredibly attractive. Lying might work in the short term, but it damages your reputation, and more importantly, it makes you feel terrible. An ethical approach simply works better in the long run. And finally, the fifth principle: play to win-win. The idea of a battle of the sexes is completely wrong. Mating, when done right, is a positive-sum game where both people are better off. Your goal isn't to conquer or manipulate. It's to find a woman who wants the same things you do, so you can both win. These 5 principles form the foundation. But to build a house, you need more than just a foundation. You need a step-by-step process. The rest of the book is dedicated to a 5-step plan to transform your mating life. It all starts with step 1, get your head straight. And the very first thing we must tackle is confidence. How can I be more confident? It's the most common question young men ask. We're often told to just believe in yourself or fake it till you make it. The authors say this is useless advice. True confidence, they explain, isn't a feeling you can just invent. It's the realistic expectation of being successful at something, based on 2 things: your competence at it and the risk involved. Think about learning to drive. At 16, your confidence was low because your competence was low, and the risk was high. After 10 years of driving, your confidence is high because you have a track record of success. You've demonstrated performance. This is the key. Confidence reflects competence. You can't fake it, because our brains evolved to track our real abilities. The only way to build real, lasting confidence with women is to build real competence in the areas that matter to them. This entire book, in essence, is a guide to building that competence. But before you can build anything, you have to understand the landscape. And that brings us to the most crucial part of getting your head straight: understanding what it's truly like to be a woman. The authors ask you to perform a thought experiment. Imagine you are a young, inexperienced gay man, and you walk into a bar. The bar is filled with men who are all bigger, stronger, and faster than you. They're like sexual terminators, their eyes scanning you like you're a piece of meat. Any one of them could physically overpower you, and there would be little you could do. How would you feel? Nervous? Vulnerable? Scared? Now, imagine that some of these men are also incredibly charming, funny, and interesting. The very same traits that frighten you, their strength and power, are also the traits you find most attractive. That swirling contradiction, that mix of fear and desire, is what it's like to be a woman in the dating world every single day. This fundamental difference in perspective is something most men never consider. A man's greatest fear in a social interaction is often rejection or humiliation. A woman's is physical harm. She has spent her life since puberty dealing with creepy guys, catcalling, and harassment. Her experience is that the worst guys are often the most aggressive, while the best guys are nowhere to be seen. This is why she seems hot and cold or sends mixed messages. She's trying to express interest from a defensive posture, with a threat detection system on a hair trigger. It's not about playing games, it's about survival. Once you truly grasp this, her behavior starts to make sense. You realize that to be attractive, you must first be safe. The final piece of getting your head straight is clarifying what you actually want. The book breaks down relationships into 3 types: short-term like one-night stands, medium-term like casual dating or friends with benefits, and long-term a committed relationship. Each has its pros and cons. Short-term can be fun and uncomplicated, but it can also feel empty and requires a lot of effort for little return. Long-term offers deep emotional connection and the best sex, but it comes with the risk of heartbreak and the loss of novelty. The authors provide a quiz to help you figure out your current orientation, emphasizing that your goals will change throughout your life. But the crucial first step is to be honest with yourself about what you want right now. Because if you don't know what you want, you'll never find a woman who wants the same thing. With your mind clear and your goals defined, you're ready for step 2. Develop attractive traits. So, What do women really want? It's not as mysterious as you might think. Across all cultures and all of history, women's preferences point to one core quality: effectiveness. A woman's brain is designed to ask, is this man effective at life? Because an effective man is more likely to be a good genetic sire, a good partner, and a good father. The most romantic words a man can say are not "I love you." They are, "Don't worry, honey, I got this." It signals competence and reliability. But here's a powerful insight. The fastest way to become more attractive isn't just to increase your effectiveness, but to reduce your ineffectiveness. Why? Because ineffectiveness is sexually disgusting to all women, all of the time. No woman is attracted to a man who is jobless, powerless, or fails in a crisis. So, before you worry about getting six-pack abs, first make sure you don't have a keg for a stomach. Stop sucking first. Then work on being awesome. The book breaks down effectiveness into 5 key traits you can develop. First is physical health. This is the foundation. Getting in shape will do more to increase your mating success than anything else. But it's not about looking like a bodybuilder. In fact, a perfect body can sometimes signal narcissism. The goal is to be healthy, fit, and energetic. Most women are looking for good genes and a capable partner, not a superhero. The authors lay out a simple plan based on 3 pillars: sleep, nutrition, and exercise. Get 8 to 9 hours of sleep in a pitch-black room. Stop eating sugar and grains, and focus on real, unprocessed foods like meat and vegetables. And for exercise, focus on getting strong with compound movements like squats and push-ups, not endless cardio. Next comes mental health. A woman can often judge your mental state even faster than your physical health. She's looking for honest signals of sanity, and the most attractive ones are happiness, a good sense of humor, playfulness, openness, and resilience. These aren't just nice-to-have qualities. They are powerful indicators that your brain works correctly and that you're not secretly unstable or dangerous. Improving your mental health starts with the same foundation: sleep, nutrition, and exercise. But the authors also add a secret weapon: mindfulness meditation. Just 10 minutes a day of focusing on your breath can dramatically increase your happiness and emotional stability. The third trait is intelligence. But this isn't just about book smarts. In fact, women didn't evolve to be attracted to a high SAT score. They are attracted to what a man does with his intelligence. The book highlights several forms: social intelligence, understanding people; emotional intelligence, understanding feelings; verbal intelligence, being a great conversationalist; and practical intelligence, street smarts. These are the kinds of intelligence that signaled effectiveness in our ancestral past, and they are still powerfully attractive today. Fourth is willpower, or as the book puts it, getting your life together. Willpower is the ability to pursue your long-term goals despite short-term temptations. Men with willpower are effective and reliable. Women value this highly because it predicts so much. A man who is conscientious is less likely to cheat, is more dependable in a relationship, and is better with money. Your physical health, your grooming, the cleanliness of your car and apartment, all of these are visible signals of your willpower. The final trait is perhaps the most compelling: becoming a tender defender. Young men often think they have to be either a nice guy or an asshole. The authors say this is a false choice. Women don't want a cowardly doormat, and they don't want a raging douchebag. What they truly desire is a man who embodies a powerful duality: a man who is kind, gentle, and empathetic to her and those she cares about, but assertive, protective, and formidable to the outside world. He is a tender defender. This archetype is the hero of every romance novel and romantic comedy for a reason. It's the whole package. Developing these 5 traits is the journey of becoming a more effective man. But having them is only half the battle. You have to show them. This brings us to step 3. Display attractive proofs. This is the art of showing, don't telling. You can't just say you're smart or confident. You have to demonstrate it through your actions and your life. These demonstrations are called proofs, and they are signals of your underlying value. The first is social proof. Humans are a deeply social species, and a woman can learn a huge amount about you by observing your social network. Do people like you? Do they respect you? Do you have good, Long-term friends? Having friends is a powerful signal that you are not a threat, that you are kind, and that you add value to people's lives. This isn't about being a dominant alpha male, a toxic myth from the pickup artist community. It's about earning prestige and popularity by being a valuable member of your group. The second is material proof. This is where many guys get it wrong. They think women are just gold diggers. But the authors clarify that women care less about money itself and more about what it represents. Financial success is a powerful signal of all the underlying traits it took to achieve it: intelligence, willpower, and social skills. You don't need to be rich, you just need to be effective enough to provide a decent life. In fact, the book argues that women would almost always prefer an interesting, fun husband with a middle-class income over a dull, workaholic millionaire. The key is to spend your money on experiences, not just things, to build a life that is attractive and exciting. Third is aesthetic proof. This is your style, your taste, and your appreciation for beauty. A lot of men dismiss this as feminine or gay, but this is a massive mistake. In nature, it's often the males who are more colorful and ornamented. Think of the peacock. Your grooming, your clothes, the way you decorate your apartment. All of these are signals of your intelligence, your willpower, and your attention to detail. You don't need to be a fashion model, but you do need to be clean, wear clothes that fit well, and show that you put thought into your appearance. Finally, there is romantic proof. This is about showing a specific woman that you are interested in her. While the other proofs are about broadcasting your general value, romantic proof is about narrowcasting your commitment. It's about paying attention, listening, remembering details, and showing through your actions that she is a priority. But this must be done with care. The key is gradual escalation. Showing too much romantic interest too soon comes across as desperate and creepy. True romance builds slowly, as you genuinely get to know and appreciate her as a person. Once you've built your traits and learned how to display them, it's time for step 4. Go where the women are. You can be the most attractive man in the world, but if you're in the wrong place, it doesn't matter. The book introduces the concept of mating markets, the specific geographic and social environments where you meet people. Your city, your college, your workplace, even your favorite coffee shop are all mating markets. And the success you have in any market depends on supply and demand. The most powerful way to improve your success is to choose your markets wisely. Look for places with a large number of women and a low sex ratio, meaning more women than men. A college town where women outnumber men is a paradise for a guy. You also want to find a place where your particular strengths are valued. If you're a brilliant but not particularly athletic guy, you'll do better in a city known for its tech scene than one known for its professional sports teams. The goal is to be a big fish in a small pond. This also means you have to become a chooser, not just a beggar. As you become more successful, you will have options. This is where you must exercise your own mate preferences. And here, men have a hidden power: post-sex choice. While women often have more power in deciding who to have sex with, men often have more power in deciding whether to pursue a relationship after sex. Using this power wisely and kindly is a sign of maturity. And where, specifically, should you go? The authors are clear. Bars and clubs suck for meeting high-quality women. They are loud, chaotic environments built on the worst fears of both sexes. The best way to meet women is to make your dating life an extension of your social life. Join groups and activities you genuinely enjoy that also include women: volunteering, fitness classes like CrossFit, improv or acting lessons, intramural sports, or dance classes. In these contexts, conversation is natural, the pressure is low, and you can display your attractive traits organically. This leads us to the final step, where all the preparation meets the real world. Step 5. Take action. This is about the practical skills of interaction. First, talking to women. The purpose of conversation in a mating context is not to persuade or argue. It's to indirectly signal your traits and create a connection. The authors give 8 rules for good conversation, including being a good host, using open body language, establishing commonality, and actively listening. But the most powerful mindset shift is this: make your goal simply to have fun and entertaining conversations, not to get sex. When you remove the pressure of an outcome, you relax, she relaxes, and paradoxically, the outcome you wanted becomes much more likely. Next is dating women. A date is a mutual test, an opportunity for both of you to evaluate each other. The activity itself doesn't matter as much as the context it provides for courtship. A good first date should be inexpensive, happen on a weeknight, and allow for easy conversation. More importantly, choose an activity that allows you to showcase your strengths. If you're a great teacher, take her to an archery range and teach her how to shoot. You'll display skill, patience, and you'll get to have physical contact in a natural way. Finally, having sex. The book stresses that sex is not the finish line. It is a means to an end, whether that end is pleasure, connection, or reproduction. It is not something you trick a woman into. If you have built yourself into an attractive man and created a genuine connection, sexual escalation should feel like a natural progression of mutual desire, not a series of manipulative moves. The authors also tackle crucial topics like penis size, it matters less than you think, and the importance of sexual self-acceptance, freeing yourself from the shame our culture often attaches to male desire. The journey ends where it began, with a plan. The final chapter guides you to create your own personal mating plan. You clarify your goals, identify your strengths to highlight and weaknesses to work on, choose your ideal mating markets, and set small, achievable wins to build momentum. You commit to focusing on fun, and you embrace the process of trying, learning, and repeating. Because in the end, that is the true message of Mate. This isn't about a final destination. It's a lifelong journey of learning, improving, and most importantly, having fun along the way. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, a man who is not just wanted by women, but a man you can be proud to be. Commentary. What a journey. Reading Mate is like being handed a secret instruction manual for something you've been trying to build your whole life with no directions. The most powerful lesson in this book isn't a single trick or tactic, it's a fundamental shift in perspective. It moves you from a place of confusion and anxiety to a place of clarity and empowerment. The authors, Tucker Max and Geoffrey Miller, achieve something truly remarkable. They take the complex, often intimidating world of evolutionary psychology and distill it into a practical, compassionate, and deeply human guide. The central idea? That becoming attractive to women is a byproduct of becoming a better, more effective man, is not only liberating, but it's also profoundly respectful to both men and women. It rejects the toxic us versus them mentality and replaces it with a win-win framework built on honesty and mutual benefit. What I find most impactful is the emphasis on empathy. The thought experiment of imagining the dating world from a woman's perspective is a game changer. It reframes so many confusing behaviors, the mixed signals, the caution, the tests, not as games, but as self-protection strategies. When you understand her fear, you learn that the foundation of all attraction is making her feel safe. This shift from "how can I get her" to "how can I make her feel safe and comfortable" is the first step toward true maturity and success. The book is also a powerful call to radical self-responsibility. It systematically dismantles every excuse. It tells you that your life, your health, your mind, and your relationships are in your hands. But it does so not with a harsh drill sergeant's voice, but with the encouraging tone of a wise mentor. It provides a clear, actionable plan for every area of self-improvement, from getting in shape to learning to have better conversations. The message is clear. You have the power to change, and here's exactly how to do it. So, how can you start applying these lessons today? Let's not get overwhelmed. Let's focus on 3 simple actions. First, clarify your goals. Go back to the idea of short-term, medium-term, and long-term relationships. Be truly honest with yourself. What do you really want right now in your life? Writing it down makes it real and gives you a direction. Second, pick one keystone habit. The book makes it clear that physical health is the foundation. So, for the next 30 days, commit to improving just one of the 3 pillars: sleep, nutrition, or exercise. Don't try to do everything. Just get 8 hours of sleep a night, or cut out sugar and grains, or do the book's simple push-up and squat routine every other day. Master one, and you'll build the momentum to tackle the others. Third, step into a new mating market. This week, join one new social group or activity that you're genuinely interested in and that is likely to have women. It could be an improv class, a volunteer event, or a hiking group you find online. The goal is not to meet the one. The goal is simply to put yourself in a low-pressure environment where you can practice being social and have fun. That was a summary of Mate, Become the Man Women Want by Tucker Max and Geoffrey Miller. We've explored the core principles and the step-by-step process today. But a summary is like looking at a map of a beautiful country. It shows you the layout, but it can't convey the experience of actually walking the streets, smelling the food, and talking to the people. The real transformation happens when you engage with a book yourself, letting its ideas sink in and resonate with your own life. This summary is your map. If the journey we've outlined today feels like one you're ready to take, I encourage you to grab a copy of the book. Reading it isn't just about learning, it's about starting the most important project of your life, building the best version of yourself. A link to the book is in the description. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please show your support by hitting that like button and subscribing to Billionaire's Bookshelf. It helps us continue to bring these summaries to you, and it ensures you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.